It's the Game 7 press conference featuring the Texas Longhorns, joined by head coach Mike White and student athletes Bella Dayton and Alyssa Washington. Questions for our student athletes to start, please. Ryan?
Ryan Aber from the Oklahoman. For both the players, I want to ask you about facing Hope Troutwine. What was the biggest challenge there, and just how difficult was it to get anything going consistently offensively? I know y'all had quite a few base runners, but weren't able to break through outside of the first and the seventh.
Start with Alyssa, please.
Yeah, I mean, we faced Hope before at North Texas, so this was kind of like really just playing against Hope, not the name on her jersey. But it was just really following our plan, and I think we kind of struggled on that a little bit, but yeah, it was just really following our plan.
Bella?
I can back that up. Like, personally, I struggled following the plan, and our plan was to see the ball down, and I think that a lot of us did struggle there, but a lot of us did make a change at the plate. It just wasn't consistent.
Appreciate it.
Garen Amick of the Tulsa World. You guys, with the win in Austin, did you figure that, I mean, you were going to get, obviously, Oklahoma, it's pretty, I mean, they usually play well here, right? So that's not a secret. But winning that game in Austin, did you have a feeling that they'd be even more either motivated or locked in after what you guys did in the game 3 down there?
Is this for both players?
Yes.
All right, let's start with Bella, please.
I think Oklahoma overall is always locked in. I think it's whether the other team decides to show up and lock in for themselves. I will say that we did show up. Again, it wasn't super consistent, and we are ready to keep going and follow up with more wins after this.
Alyssa?
Yes, I agree with Bella. Just knowing that we're capable of beating Oklahoma, like we've proven ourselves, and just knowing that we could play up to that standard. I just don't think we fully went up to that level today, but I do fully agree that we are able to win.
Over there.
Ryan Chapman, All Sooners. This is for Alyssa. You mentioned facing Hope at Northwestern, or North Texas, excuse me. What changes have you seen in Hope since when you guys played her at North Texas to the couple of times you saw her at Oklahoma this year?
I do believe her command has gotten a lot better, but that goes along with us really hunting strikes, because she is a really good pitcher where she can have you chase a lot. But really, if we stick to our plan, seeing her down, then I think we can be successful on her.
Troy Hutchison, GoEasyCats.com. Bella, tomorrow you guys are going to be playing Arizona, your former team. Can you talk about getting a chance to face them in the Women's College World Series?
Yeah, I do have a lot of respect for them, and I love seeing my old teammates because I was super close with them. But, I'm excited to play with the team I'm on now, and I know they have my back with everything that we do. And we're just pumped to keep moving forward.
And then one quick follow-up. Caitlin Lowe, she was the assistant coach during that time when you were at Arizona. Now she's the head coach. What was that like, getting to play with Caitlin, for Caitlin, during that span of time that you were there?
It was great to be coached by her. She was a well-known player and a well-known coach, and respect to her for making it this far, or for her first year as head coach. That's pretty much it.
Anything else for our student athletes? Bella, Alyssa, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach White, please. Go ahead, James.
James Hale, CBS Sports Radio in Oklahoma City. Coach White, your team did a great job coming back and getting that run back. What were you thinking at that point? You'd got to Hope. Your small ball game was working. What were you thinking at that point when it was a 2-1 game?
Well, it's encouraging to get those runs back straight away. One run back straight away. It could have been a couple more if we get another hit, but it is important to break through straight away, and we were able to do that. So it kind of gave us some brief confidence. Obviously it was brief, but some confidence going forward. We just started to chase, and I think we were trying too hard and pushing ourselves too much instead of letting the ball come to us. Like the lady said, we didn't really follow the game plan of seeing the ball down, but good pitchers like Hope Troutwine make you do that. You know, she throws with velocity, and she's effectively wild at times, and she moves the ball through the zone. So it's a tough thing to do.
Eric?
Coach Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. I just want to ask you about the top three of Oklahoma's lineup, what they were able to do from a production standpoint today.
Yeah, I mean, it's murderer's row. I mean, I think someone asked me about maybe we should walk the, Allo in the first innings. It's like, well, it's not the way I play softball. But, and we were fairly successful against her. We just didn't execute the pitches. And I talked to the ladies about that. And it's not like I'm calling Haley Dulcini, it's her fault. It's not her, nothing there at all. Again, Allo makes you throw those kind of pitches. She's patient. She's looking for that pitch she wants to hit, and she got it, and she didn't miss it, and that's what great teams and good hitters do. And, you got murderer's row up there, and it's got to pick your poison, and, she could have just as well popped it up too. I think, I don't think she got all of it. I've seen Jocelyn Allo home runs. She didn't get all that, right? But she's strong enough to punch it out, and I don't think with that wind there, it might not have left the ballpark, So, but again, she did a great job. Yeah, hats off to her.
Hey, Mike, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. A little bit more about Jocelyn. Her ability to hit, have great hits, big hits on this stage, it just seems like she always comes through. How difficult is that when, the country knows that she can produce in big moments? How do you try to guard against that, or can you? Do you just have to have a good scout with your pitchers?
Well, she's batting around just under 500, so she's failing half the time, and that's the way you got to look at it. You're going to fail just as much as you're going to be successful, and you've got to give your best effort. But there's that gap in how well you can play and how well you do play. Her gap's very small. It's called the performance gap, and so she's going to perform on the big stage consistently, and she gets up for that. It drives her. And that's what we want as coaches. We want athletes that can be motivated by the situations, not be afraid of them, and perform. I mean, we talk about when the lights turn on, we've got a lot of 5 o'clock hitters, and they got great in batting practice, but not when the lights turn on. So their team does that.
Right.
Yeah, Mike, I want to ask you about Haley. First of all, a two-parter. The way she was able to settle in after that Allo home run and get through, I think, the next, 8 or 9 hitters. And then the adjustments that OU made. What were what you saw out of Haley and how she was able to react to that, and then the adjustments that OU made there in the fifth, especially getting on those first pitches that she was throwing.
Yeah, well, she was able to hang in there, and that's testament to her fight and her determination, and she didn't let it get down. I mean, a lot of pitchers would have folded right there, right? Big moment, giving up a home run in the first, and you probably would have had to take her out. But I know better than that with her, and she's going to keep fighting for this team and this club, and that's what I love about her. She's stubborn. She's, in a good way, which is great. But they stuck with the game plan. They're able to get a couple runners on. I think I can't remember how the first runner got on. I think a bunt. It was a great bunt.
Yeah, a short bunt there.
Yeah, short bunt got on, and then I think Coleman was able to hit one in the gap there. That if we have a little faster outfield, we may be able to get to that. But that's the difference, right? It's a game of inches. You look at the speed in the outfield of some clubs, and they're able to track balls down, and that's what makes Oklahoma tough. They've got 3 cannons out there for arms, and they can track balls down. So it's hard to find grass, and that's what we got to work on. We've got to get some more speedsters out there to track those things down.
A quick follow-up to that, if that's all right, Rob.
Yeah, that's fine.
You mentioned Murderer's Row there at the top of the lineup, but obviously it started there in that inning with the bottom of the lineup. How much pressure does that put on the teams that they face, y'all today? You sort of have to be so fine, up and down the order.
Well, a lot of coaches stick a really good hitter down there that's able to get on base. We kind of did that against UCLA the other day. We were able to kind of turn the lineup over, and it's a big plus if you can do that. And saying about Murderer's Row, they keep changing it. It's like the row changes. Whoever's not hitting, they switch in there. But so it's again that's her job. She did her job. She got on base for a teammate.
Yeah. Joey?
Joey Heltmer, 24/7 Sports. Mike, your team's been on elimination in both of the first 2 rounds, and you've made it through in both of them. Can you guys draw some inspiration or confidence from that?
Well, that's the plan, without a doubt. I've told them that the most important game we're going to play all year is this next game, without a doubt. And we can't hang our heads about what happened today. that's a good team. You know, now our job is to try and get into the Final Four, and that's what we want to do. And we've got to be ready. If we're out there hanging our heads, we're going to lose. And there's no doubt. We got to bounce back. We got to bounce back strong. We got to play the game the right way and get our momentum back.
Joe?
Joe Irwin, Better Eyes in Oklahoma. Coach, just curious, when you have a team, Bella mentioned just struggling to follow the game plan. You mentioned just like the light, when the lights come on, just not being able to perform. Can you articulate the degree of difficulty of preparing a team that hasn't been on this stage compared to a team like Oklahoma that's been here? All their players have been here all of the time they've been in college.
Yeah, I say that frequently. It's hard to practice in front of 3,000 fans, and now it's 13,000 fans or 14,000. So it's that situation where you've got to be here, and that's half the battle. Very few teams have actually come to the Women's College World Series the first time and won it. And basically, this is the first time for us since as I've been coach. So it was 5 times that Oregon didn't win it either. So it's a tough thing to do, to come out, and you can't practice it, and you've just got to find those players that can perform those situations. You go back and analyze it, you assess it, and you say, what could we do differently? And then you work on the mental part of the game, because that's the big difference here. Physical part is somewhat easy to teach, but the mental part of the game is very difficult. And I know that from my own playing experience and now from coaching.
Coach, we have a Zoom question from Javier Morales. Brian, he's talking. Nothing.
Hung up.
You hear me?
Yeah,
we
go ahead, Javier.
He's on mute.
Sorry. I was just asking what Coach's general thoughts are of Arizona from what he's seen of them this year.
Hey, they're on a roll right now. I mean, we're pretty hot, but they're being pretty hot as well. And, the pitchers are doing a good job. They got a couple of good ones that are spinning it out. They've got some power and speed, probably more power than I've seen throughout the lineup. Typically, they have like a lot of speed and some power, but they've got more power throughout the lineup. So we're going to have a tough game about us, and it's going to be an exciting one, I'm pretty sure.
Over here.
Troy Hutchison, GoEasyCats.com. Coach White, can you just talk about the job that Caitlin Lowe has done there in her first year at Arizona and how she's been able to take a team that tied for last in the Pac-12 and get them to the Women's College World Series?
Well, I don't think anybody wants to take over for Mr. Goat, so it's a pretty tough job. So to do what she did, and obviously they had a struggle. I think they lost the first 8 in Pac-12. So be able to come back and rally their troops, I know what it's like. We have to do the same thing. And it's difficult because everyone starts to doubt. And it's hard to keep that confidence going, and not only yourself but in your team, and know you're going in the right direction. And she's been able to turn it around. So hats off to her for doing what she's done so far.
Follow up.
And then to follow that up, looking at tomorrow, how difficult is it in these elimination games to go back-to-back and trying to figure out your pitching staff and what you're going to do in terms of getting prepared for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, it's flipped from what it used to be, right? It used to be you'd have to come back if you won and play on Friday. So now it's the other way around. If you lose, you got to play the next day. But, we play these tournaments. We did the same thing in regionals and super regionals. And you got to be ready. You can't just win it with one person. I mean, obviously we have Haley Dulcini, who's our main person, but we've got to find a way to get some innings from some other people as well. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to trust each other, come out and score some runs. I mean, that's it. I mean, you look at the game today, we come out and we score 3 runs or 4 runs in the first innings. All of a sudden that pressure flips, right? But it didn't happen. And that's the momentum shift you got to create. So tomorrow it's going to be important for us to get some runs so we can get ahead.
All right, Coach, last one. Eric Lopez on Zoom.
Coach, I know it's not the result you wanted, but pretty historic day, incredible atmosphere, and a game that aired on ABC. First time ever the World Series aired a game on ABC. You get to be a part of that. What's your thoughts on that for the game and for your program?
Yeah. Well, I'm just so excited for the game itself. We're starting to see but let me step back a little bit. Whenever you get someone to come and watch women's fast pitch, they want to come back. And so that's always been the challenge, is getting them back. Now we're seeing, like, you walk past a restaurant and you'll see the game on. People are invested in this game right now and love it. So to be on ABC, that's another big step for us. And hopefully, I wish we could have made it a little better game, a little closer. But, the fact is they got to see some really good plays and some good hits and some good pitching on TV. And we keep spreading the word. We all got to be ambassadors for the game, and that's what I want to be. And I want our team to be as well, ambassadors for the game.
Coach White, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.